Hey, welcome back. My name is Kurt, and this is part 7 of creating a database using app scripts and Google Sheets. So the update button is what we're going to do next. An update button works similar to the delete button. The first thing you would have to do is search based on the criteria you put in this field, and then once you get what you need to search for, you grab the index or the invoice number, and then once you have the invoice number, you can put it in the criteria field, put the values that you want to change, and hit update, and we'll update that particular invoice on that particular row found in your database here. So with that, let's continue on and go to extensions, app scripts. Now we're here with our app scripts, and one thing I said before is that this works similar to the delete button, but it updates instead of delete. So therefore, we would need to use some of this code from our delete function. So the first thing I'm going to do here is we'll just go ahead and I'm going to grab this top here, put it here, change this to update. Now I have to put my closing bracket, and now we have it. So again, we're going to grab what's in our E4 cell on our sheet page here. And then next we need to grab the whole entire database and dump that into a element or a value or an array, in this case here, dbase. And then we might use this, and we'll find out here in a minute. So then next, once we have all that information in our array here, we now need to iterate through it and find invoice that we put in field E4. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to need probably these. Let's just start with the first two parts of this for loop. Definitely going to need the first two parts of this for loop. All right, go back up here. Let's tab in that. And now, of course, we need to go down here. I'm just going to get rid of this here for a second so it doesn't confuse us too much. Close our bracket, right? So again, we're going to need to an if statement here anyway. Now let's close that real quick so we don't forget. And put a space here. So now we have it. So we're going to have to iterate through our database to find the matching invoice number in this if statement, and we'll do more to this here in a second. So once we find it, we want to update that field and update that sheet called database. So again, we're going to go through, we're going to iterate through. If the invoice number matches, we want to find that row number. So that's done. Again, basically we're just going to take this, all right, put it here. So we have that. But what do we want to do if we find it? Well, we want to do something similar to the add button. All right, so we go to our submit data right here. We want to grab all the values that we update in here. So it's similar to the add button. Or in our case, we call it submit data. So we want to grab this again. So we're going to grab that. And where we're going to put it? Well, right here. So now, if we find a match, and next number matches, that's a name. All right, so we're going to go row 1, 2, 3, 4, column 2, which is the index column. If it matches what we put in E4, we're going to go into here. We're going to pull all this data and stick it in an array called values. Come on. Then after we're done with that, what do we need to do next? Let me put this up here. Yeah, let's leave that. That's better. When we're done with that, what do we do next? Well, now what we have to do is take the data we see in here and then put it in each column of the row to update. So what we're going to do is basically, if we find we want to update this customer here, invoice number 1014, we need to now put all the new data in all these columns, but in this row 10. So how do we do that? Well, there's a couple ways we can do it, and I'm going to do it of a linear approach. There's another way you can do this, and you'll see once I put these statements in, you'll see there literally is another way to do this. But right now I'm going to think linear here, or linear, more of a dirty way to do this, and not a very good way to do it, but it does work, and it's a simple way to understand what's happening. And then you can change this, because you'll once I dump the code in, you'll see that you can easily use a different type of code or a different type of iteration to go through and check each column or each input. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a whole smattering of if statements. So what we're going to do here is we're going to check if each field is empty, or does it have a value in it. So that's what we're going to do. Let's go back and let's look at this. If value is 0, 0, right here, 0, 0 is going to be the name is equal to length 0, in other words, empty. Put what you find in that row, all right, column 4, into values 1 at 0, 0. So what does that say? So let's go look to the database. So row, wherever row we land on, column 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Take what value is in there, in this case here, Kurt, and put it into that variable or array in the position 0, 0. That's what we're doing. That's all we're doing. And we're going to do that for each one of these. And we're going to test. Now, I said before, this is a linear approach, a dirty approach, a very slow approach to do this. It's definitely another way to do this. Leave it down in the comments if you think you know another way you can do it. I know there's another way. Matter of fact, I've written it differently too. But in this case here, I'm just showing you step by step the thinking process of what this script is doing to update. It's going to check each column and make sure there's something in it or not. If there's something in it, save it. If there isn't, overwrite it. Basically what we're doing. So let's see if we can get this to work. All right. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to save this. What the hell happened? Oh, line 196. Where's 196? Am I missing a statement? Oh, yeah. One of these is, I don't know what happened there, but who knows? Let's see if we can save it again, see what other. Oh, okay, that worked. So let's see if we can update something here. So we're just going to go, let's update invoice 1014. Go here, put into, let's put this 1014, enter, and let's just add some stuff. Hit update. Did I add something here? Yeah, okay, so I already added in there. And it found it. All right, let's go see what it found. So there it updated. Now, let's see what happens if we leave one of the fields blank and see if it keeps the current value that's in there. So let's go back to our input. And now we have, so we just removed Kurt. And let's see if we can hit the update button. Let's go look. And it removed it. Oh, we didn't want that because the length of that array element was 0, but it still deleted it. It shouldn't have deleted it. Let's find out why. Well, let's go ahead and put in some logging statements, what you see here. Let's go back here. Still get everything right. Let's hit, let's go back to our database and put in what was there originally. All right. Now, instead of hitting the button, we're going to go ahead and hit run, and let's see what happens. Well, I'm assuming it skipped this because these weren't populated. And let's figure out why did it skip it. When we look closely, this is plural. So let's get values. Well, we want to get a value. So let's get rid of the S on that. Let's hit save. Go back here. Let's put in that. Go back to our database. Now we have nothing in here again. So length is should be equal 0. Right, going to this here. All right, that's one way you can test that something's empty. Right, but there's another. You can literally use is blank, maybe. Try that. And again, as I stated before, you can shorten this up drastically by using a different type of code in here. So let's hit run. And okay, so now found it. Let's go back here and left it. That's what we want. Okay. So if you don't update the whole, every field here, you don't want to erase what's already in the database. You want to leave it alone. You want to leave all these other values alone. In that case, it did. So let's try it again. We'll go back here and let's change the name again to Bob. Hit OK. And let's hit update and let's see if it changes it. Or database. And changed it. All right, let's go through this here again real quick. So what we're going to do here is we're going to delete this. And then I'm going to delete this. Then I'm going to hit save. So if the length of the field has nothing in it, so then that value that's put in this two-dimensional array here should be a length of 0, since there's nothing in it. It's empty. That's what we're looking for. And we'll do that for each field, as you see here. And then we'll take every value that's in this two-dimensional array and dump it and overwrite everything that's in that row found here. And then we're going to pop up something that says, found, which we did, and it comes up. But you noticed when we did an input here, right? We still have all this crap in there. We want to clear it out, right? So what do? Well, we're going to call our function. We have a function here that's called clear input. So let's go ahead and put that in our script here, but we're going to put it not on the 4. I'm going to put it here. And hit semicolon, hit save. Now, let's go ahead and, now do I have this in here again? Yes. And, it cleared it all. Back, everything's there. So let's put in 10, 14 again. Right? And let's see what happens here when we hit. I found the row. Let's see if it did anything. And, yep, it kept everything. Oh, so there we have it. Well, there you have it. You have the update function completed. Wasn't too difficult. Again, leave down in the comments if you know a different way to do this, and also see if is empty works instead of length equals 0. So that concludes the buttons. But next, what we want to do is we want to create a menu up in here. Let me show you. We get rid of this. We want to create a menu. We want to create this menu here that processes an invoice, delivers puts them into a PDF and then emails it. And then also, if you already have an invoice process and the customer goes, hey, I misplaced my invoice, you can just send that invoice without reprocessing everything. You just grab the invoice and send it. You can archive the customer, in other words, delete it completely out of the database, your current working database, and put it into a separate database for safekeeping. And also that invoice gets converted into PDF. And this here is just doing a clear all again. So in the next episode of this database building using Google Scripts and Sheets, we'll go to add this menu and some of these processes here and the menu items below. So with that, hope everybody has a healthy and happy day. Until the next one, good day.